This week, in our class this week, we're going to be talking about lines, equations of lines. There's two types of equations we're going to be looking at. Some of them we're going to call the slope-intercept form. We mentioned this last week. This is in the form y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope, because it tells us how to move, and the b is the y-intercept because it tells us where to begin. And then we also talk about a standard form. Standard form, it was in the form of ax, a is a numbered, ax plus by is equal to c. A, b, c are just numbers. But I had no fractions, right? The a and then the x and the y, they were both on the left side. Now, this is what we're going to start with. So question number 13 and 14, it says write the slope-intercept form of each line. So two things I need to know. First of all, it just say I need the b and I need the m. I need the y-intercept and I need the slope. The y-intercept is basically the value where I cross the y-axis. In this case, a -4. For the slope, well, I need to know how to move. So I'm going to use 2 points. I can use this point, right? I'm going to use points where I can see the coordinates. I can use that point, and I can use this other point. So let me move from one point to the other. It doesn't matter which point you start from. For example, if I start from this one at the bottom, I will go up, right? Count how many squares, and it looks like I go up 7 squares. And then I go to the right 4 squares. So my slope will be 7/4. Positive 7 because it went up, positive 4 because it went to the right. Now, some of you might be, well, what if I started from the other point? Let's take a look. You will go down 7, so that's a -7 because you go down. And then you go to the left, so that's a -4. Remember, when you go down is a negative. When you go to the left is a negative. So that would have given me -7/-4. The negative signs cancel out, so it's still 7/4. So that's why I said it doesn't matter which point you start from. Now, my answer here, let me answer this real quick. My answer, because I have to write this, is in the form y equals mx plus b. So I'm just going to write y equals. Now, fraction, the way we're going to write a fraction, the way we're going to type it is 7/4, 7/4. If in my fraction there was one negative sign, move it to the front. Move it to the front and simplify the fraction if you can. Here it is just 7/4 x. And then my y-intercept is a -4. So with the sign included, I'm going to write -4. So there you go. Y equals 7/4x -4. Let's take a look at question number 14. Two things I need. I need the y-intercept and I need a slope. All right, for the y-intercept, I see on the y-axis, what's the value of y when I cross that y-axis? In this case, +5. For the slope, I need 2 points. And I use the points where I see I can find what's the x and the y coordinates. And I'm just drawing all these points because those are possible points. I just have to choose 2. So I'm just going to choose any 2 points. It doesn't matter. Just to show, I'm going to pick those 2 points. So I'm going to travel from one point to the other. So it goes down 3. So goes down 3. And then it goes to the right 3. When there's a negative sign on my fraction, I'm going to bring it to the front. Now, it doesn't matter if the negative came from the top or from the bottom. Just bring it to the front. But then 3/3 also simplifies to just 1, right? So my slope is a -1. So the way I'm going to write this, the slope-intercept form, I'm going to go y equals, To begin with, I can just write negative 1x and then plus 5 because my y-intercept was positive 5. So with the sign included. However, in multiplication, right, when a number and a letter are together, we ignore the 1. So the way I will expect this will be y equals negative x plus 5. We're not going to write 1x. If we were in foundations, fine. Fine, we can write 1x if we were in foundations. But we are in algebra 2. So yeah, at this point, not 1x. Just write the letter x. So negative x. So that was how we did slope-intercept form. Now, standard form. Let's take a look. I'm going to start it kind of like how we did slope-intercept form. So to begin with, I need the y-intercept and I need the slope. Like I said, I'm going to start it the same way we do slope-intercept form. My intercept is positive 1. As a matter of fact, let me even write it with the sign, positive 1. For the slope, I'm going to use 2 points. I'm going to use this point that you guys see and this point right here. I'm going to travel down 6 spaces. Then I'm going to travel to the left 5 spaces. The negatives cancel out. So my fraction is 6/5. My slope is 6/5. So to begin with, I'm just going to write y equals 6/5x plus 1. Now, in standard form, no fractions. And I see a fraction. To get rid of fractions, I'm going to multiply everything by 5. This by 5, this by 5, and this by 5. Right? I'm going to multiply by the number at the bottom of the fraction. Now that gives me 5y equals, the 5's cancel out, so I get 6x plus 5, right? 1 times 5 equals 5. So to begin with, no fractions. Second of all, the x and the y, they have to be on the left side. So this positive 6x, let me move it to the left side as a negative 6x. So now I have negative 6x plus 5y is equal to 5. We're almost done. There's 2 things that have to, well, 3 things that have to happen. No fractions, x and y on the left side. And the third rule is the x value cannot start with a negative. My first number cannot be negative. So what I'm going to do, mathematically speaking, multiply everything by a negative 1. Now, English speaking, just change the signs. So I'm going to have that 6x minus 5y equals negative 5. So I started as a slope-intercept form, got rid of fractions, move the x and the y to the left side, and then make sure the x does not start with a negative sign. And that's what I'm expecting for you guys to type. All together, no spaces, all together. So 6x minus 5y equals negative 5. Let's do another example. Let's take a look at number 16. To begin with, I need, I'm gonna call this B for the y-intercept, and let's say M for the slope. That's what I need to begin with. I cross the y-axis at positive 1. So even with the sign included, I'm gonna write positive 1. For the slope, I'm gonna use these 2 points. There's more points I can choose, so it doesn't matter which one you choose. So it seems like I go down 3 spaces. So on the top of my fraction, let me put negative 3 because it goes down. And then 3 to the right. So that simplifies to a negative 1. So to begin with, I'm just going to write y equals negative x, right? I'm not going to do negative 1x. It's negative x plus 1. All right. My first thing is no fractions. I don't have any. Second thing is move the x and the y to the left side. So that's going to give me x plus y is equal to 1. Notice the x value, when I move it to the other side, switch the sign. All right, don't forget that. My third thing is that no negatives to begin with. I don't have a negative. So there's my answer. X plus y equals 1. Let me zoom out. That way you guys can see it there.